Always helpful.
Okay, welcome everybody. We're going live on Facebook into Living Well, and we're out here in Zoom world as well. And I know many of you registered for this webinar to watch the replay. I know we've got some people from California. Mike, you obviously didn't stay up and watching that replay. So that's awesome. We will get going. If you are live on Zoom or in the Facebook group, feel free to ask any questions, and Jackie will be monitoring all the chat in there. We really want to keep this short and sweet because I just want to show you how simple this can be. Is like, you know, being well for travel. It is very, very simple. So we only need to keep it short to show you how simple it is. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just quickly run through what we feel is the, you know, the ultimate keep healthy, travel well, be well little kit. I want to show you how a couple of oils are going to multitask for everybody in the family. And then we're going to throw to Jackie because she's got some insight about how doTERRA has worked with the Australian Olympic team. And I just want to have you hear that and how doTERRA was involved in that with all those elite sports people on their travels as well. So I think most of you probably know who I am, and I'll introduce Jackie just a little bit further down the track. I'm a health coach, I'm an essential oils coach, and I'm now also a travel coach, and which has been a long time dream of mine to be working in travel. So sort of really excited to be marrying up the wellness part of travel, because I really believe that, you know, travel is a big deal and you can't enjoy it if you're not feeling fabulous or if you're not feeling well. So being well in order to travel, I think, is really, really important. And now is really the time to be prepared. I mean, you know, and I'm not even talking about like everyone booking a month-long trip overseas. It's as simple as we need to be prepared to be able to cross the border to see friends and family that we haven't seen. And we've waited nearly 2 years for this. Okay, so there's going to be, you know, when I talk about travel, it might just be a couple of nights at a family member's house or a couple of nights at an old friend's. It doesn't really matter, because when you're away and you're in a different environment, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, how long you're away for. Things can still, you know, pop up that you need to be prepared for. So we really don't want anyone to be feeling anything but amazing because we've waited nearly 2 years to be able to do this. So this is the time to be prepared with that. Now, even like I said, no matter how short the trip or even a weekend away, a lot of things can upset the apple cart, even if you are very, very healthy. So just think about eating different food, and that doesn't need to be eating out. And again, could be family or friends feeding you. Drinking different water. I mean, I don't know about you, but I always notice the change in water, and you don't always have access to bottled water straight away if you need to. We've got different beds, different sleeping arrangements, different pillows. There might be more light or more noise. We've got time differences possibly, and we've got stress. And, you know, there's extra layer of stress now because we haven't been able to do this for so long. And there is that big overlying looming boogeyman sitting over our shoulders that we're, you know, that's just adding an extra layer of stress to everybody. And, you know, stress, as we know, can weaken our immune system. It can play havoc with your digestive system and all sorts of stuff. So we want to be able to be prepared physically and mentally before we travel, and make sure we're in tip-top shape, as well as make sure we've got at our fingertips everything that we're going to need, because things are going to crop up. They always do. And, you know, I'm sure we could all, you know, tell lots of horrible holiday stories with kids vomiting on hotel dinners and packing up sick kids with fevers in the middle of the night and driving home and all sorts of things, which we've all done. And we don't want to do that now. We want to travel well. We want to travel well. And like I said, even in a perfect world, we need solutions. But this is, you know, the new world. Living with COVID is a whole different beast. And so we just need to be really, really prepared with our immune system and our managing our stress to make sure that we're going to go forward and go forward well. Now, what we're going to talk about tonight is literally this. We are literally going to talk about something that will fit in this. It can fit in your handbag. It's going to fit in a travel bag, in a car, glove box. It's going to be able to be taken anywhere. And I want to show you how we're going to use 6 oils and a little tube. And we're going to multitask them for all of the things that you're going to need ahead of time and while you're on the road traveling as well. All right, so I just want to show, it's so simple. We're going to talk about roller bottles because let's be honest, there's hundreds of oils, and many of you watching this have got hundreds of oils and might even be wondering, well, which oils would I take? Doubtful you're going to actually travel with a diffuser. I mean, I know I don't. Very, very, very rarely would I be packing a diffuser. I'm not going to be packing oils and fractionated coconut oil and making things up on the run. I want to grab something and be able to use it. So that's why we want to whittle this down to the core, the base that we know is going to give you amazing results, but you can't get any simpler than that. Like you really can't. So for those of you who aren't already using oils, I just want to take 2 seconds to tell you why I'm so excited about using oils for travel and how essential oils work so well. And there's 2 reasons. So one of them first is aromatic use. And aromatic use is literally when you take off, this is a new bottle, it won't open, live webinar. Aromatic use, it means that you're smelling the oil. And that's literally as simple as taking off the lid of a bottle, even of a roll-on, and inhaling it. Aromatic use is also done via a diffuser if you had actually pure oil that wasn't diluted in a diffuser, or it could be rubbing some oil into your hands, rubbing your hands together and sniffing. That's how you get the aromatic benefits of essential oils. Now, the really interesting thing is when you smell something, the oils all have different properties. And I'm going to talk about some different oils tonight. Some are calming, some are uplifting. But when you actually smell those oils, that actually triggers right through your olfactory system into the limbic system in the back of your brain. And that's where your emotional responses are and also your memories. And that's why when you smell something, you can be transported back. For example, a lot of people smell lavender and think of their granny, maybe her talcum powder that I can't remember what that was, but all the grannies have the same talcum powder that smell like lavender. I smell apples cooking and I think of my nana's apple pie. So all those memories and things are brought back by that sense of smell. So we know from the research and from all the use and using essential oils in classrooms all around the country, we know that using oils aromatically can change an emotional response. So when, just think about it in a travel sense, if you're needing to calm down, if you're needing to be uplifted because there's jet lag and you've still got a whole lot of stuff to do or whatever, the oils can do that aromatically. Now, we chose the roller bottles because then you can also use them topically. Now, all the oils in the little kit that we're talking about tonight come already diluted in a roller bottle, and they're safe then for the whole family. So they're safe for all ages. And when the oils are diluted, they actually penetrate much deeper into the skin and they give you a long-lasting systemic effect. So you can apply them topically. If you've got a headache, for example, you could apply them to areas where you needed some relief, so around the temples, on the back of the neck. If you had a sore knee, you could apply the oil then directly to that area that's sore on the knee. If you just want general systemic effects, you can, bottoms of the feet are a fantastic place to put our immunity oils, because then they really, really quickly taken up into the bloodstream through the bottom of your feet. And you can research that. There's a whole lot of reflexology and the whole deal with feet being like a third kidney, like it's a really quick channel in and out of the body. So feet, if you're sort of stuck or you're just using an everyday oil, feet is always a good place to go. So the other reason why we're using oils, as I said, is they can multitask. So I'm going to show you how a couple of these oils are going to cover, 10 different ailments. They're safe for use. They're so affordable. I mean, these, the peppermint in here, if we bought a bottle of pure peppermint, 1 drop of that peppermint is the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's how pure and potent they are. You need such a small amount to get such a great effect. These are diluted already. And so we're looking at, sort of 1 or 2 cents per dose when you're using the diluted form of these oils. I mean, it's just insane. So, and then I love that, they're not taking up any space. You don't have a big medicine kit that you're trying to haul around with you. It's just it's there, it's on hand, and we're ready to go. So I thought what we'd do is talk through probably the top 5 or 6 complaints that happen, or that are common when you're traveling, and what oils that I would suggest. I do have a little postcard with the outlines of the oils on them, what you would use for what. So I can send that after the replay, but feel free to take notes as well. The first one, though, would be tummy troubles. There's nothing that wrecks a holiday more than not feeling well. And again, that can be from eating bad food to just eating different food, eating food that's richer, drinking different water. And then, tummy troubles can come in a whole lot of different ways. There might be, diarrhea, there could be constipation, it could just be reflux or something like that. Just enough to get in the way of having a good time, though. So I keep wanting to call it Digest Then, but it's now called Zengest. It's just been renamed as Zengest. But this is what, I wouldn't even leave home without it to go up the road, let alone to go on a trip anywhere from home. This would, there's 2 that would be my non-negotiables, and I'll get to that one at the end, but the digestive one will be one of those. Now, we also know that, sometimes stress can cause tummy upsets as well. So, especially for kids who are unsure about what's happening or where they're going, or even for adults who are like finding themselves in situations where plans are going awry or whatever, the whole gut and brain connection, we go, oh my gosh, the stress, can actually cause a tummy upset. But you do not want to be away from home without the Digest Sem. Now, the other one that's also really good for your tummy troubles is peppermint. And again, I mentioned peppermint tea, and, we know that like ginger and peppermint tea is, really, really calming to the stomach. This is also very calming. There is peppermint inside the Zengest blend. This is a blend of really fabulous, we call them tummy tamer oils, and peppermint is one of them. But if you happen just to have your peppermint, that is also going to be really good for you when you are not feeling the greatest, a little bit queasy. Would be great for motion sickness. Now, Zengest is notoriously used for travel sickness. And again, nothing will upset your plans more than, anything than, a kid sitting in the back of the car vomiting all the way on the road trip or into a sick bag on a plane. And it's really not nice. This, we have client stories tell us that even, the kids catching buses to school will ask for their Digest Sen. If they're going away on a camp even, or, just on an excursion, they'll want their Digest Sen because it's so good for motion sickness. So how you would use it, you would literally just you could have a smell of it if you're feeling a bit queasy. You could just sit and sniff it, rolling it around your belly button. It's nice and safe and diluted around your belly button, on the bottoms of your feet. Or if I was feeling really queasy as well, I would probably just put some around near my nose and on my temples, just so I also got the aromatic effect, as well as obviously putting it around my belly. If I had reflux, I'd probably just roll it up and down in that area where it was uncomfortable with reflux. Okay, so we can take care of those tummy troubles and the motion sickness and travel sickness with the Zengest. It's just don't leave home without. Now, the next thing that is often difficult when you're away is sleep. And again, I'm not talking about going away to Fiji for 2 weeks. You might be going to visit your in-laws for a couple of weeks, and you're going to be sleeping on a couch or you're in a spare bed. There's odd pillows, maybe there's lots of noise and light, or there's, people around or whatever. And we really need to be able to get some sleep. Of course, I would firstly go to lavender. And I'm sure everybody knows that lavender has been studied through the ages for its calming and sedative effects. All right, so lavender is a beautiful one to use if you're having trouble sleeping and, just need to get into the relax. Again, for the kids, up and down the spine, on the bottom of their feet, just maybe around the temples, that you can use. Is completely safe to use on kids as well. So lavender would be my go-to. And then, of course, in your little kit, you're going to be traveling also with a blend called Adaptive, which is our calming blend for stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And look, I don't know about you, like I've had years of not being a good sleeper, and then the stress of thinking you're not going to sleep, and then thinking, oh my gosh, if I don't get to sleep, I'm not going to be okay for tomorrow, and we've got an early morning and all the rest of it. That stress can then make you not sleep, which then makes you feel worse, and then you get into a big cycle. So these two, the lavender as a first point of call, and then the Adaptive as well, would be a beautiful blend to try, and just to knock those sleep problems on the head. All right. So again, for everybody, under the big toe, on your the anxiety, exactly. Around your temples, on your pulse points. Look, honestly, wherever they're nice and diluted, wherever you feel like you would need them, you can use those. Or, as I said before, rubbing them on your palm, rubbing your hands together, and having a nice big inhale, a couple of really deep breaths, because the breathing is going to help you calm that parasympathetic nervous system as well. All right. So you definitely need to get good sleep. And if you are traveling a long way and, needing to nap in between on planes or buses, or even the kids in the back of the car, in order to adjust to time zones, then you want to know that you've got something on hand to help them sleep. Now, that sort of leads me into stress. Now, stress can take so many different forms. As you said, Jackie, the whole stress at the moment of just getting to the airport. I mean, that's, to me, I never relax until my bags are checked in and I've got my boarding pass. And I think, well, they can't go without me now, my bags are checked in. But up till then, I'm like a cat on a hot tin roof. And like, we, in the old days, we traveled a lot, but I was always the same. It's like it's the traffic and the parking and the queue and the gate and the x-ray and the all of it. So you've got people who are nervous flyers. I don't like not being in control. So I don't like that I'm not driving the plane, and I don't like that I didn't know what that bump was and all the rest of it. So I really need to, do a lot of sitting and calming when I'm on a plane, for example. And same even if I'm, not the driver on a long trip. Just ask my husband how stressful I am to travel with. But then there's also being uncomfortable in, unfamiliar environments, or, the stress of the plane being late, which means that's going to be late and all the rest of it. It could be even best be the stress of, oh my gosh, is this place going to be okay? We booked it off the internet. We don't really know. And, is it we're going to have to be here, and is everyone going to be okay, sort of thing. Lots of times for kids, it's a lot of stress about their routines that we can't have, or that they're missing out on, or, that we're trying to keep together for them. So we want to go straight to that Adaptive for all that stress. Okay. And you can add in the lavender as well, if you really need to, if you really need an extra bomb. That this Adaptive has been designed for that overwhelm and that fight or flight that's going to make you, on edge and raise your cortisol, and which is, then going to just cause you digestive problems, and then we go round and round. Just lather yourself in it, on your pulse points, behind your neck, on your temples, wherever you need to. This is an incredible blend. It's such a clever blend of oils, and like I said, designed specifically for overwhelm and anxiety. So you just don't want to be there. And you know what? It's even that anxiety, I think, for many of us, it's nearly 2 years since we've ventured out. I mean, it used to be normal just to go and get on a plane and sit at the airport and do all of that. And we've got used to, we've been at home, and it's like, we're going to be in busy places. We're going to be with a lot of people. We're going to be, standing in lines, and people have got masks on, and you're showing papers, and we've got certificates, and, it's like, oh, there's a whole nother level of stress that is going to be, put into the whole travel scenario. Just by mere fact that we've been pretty much locked up in our houses for so long. It's literally just even thinking about being out in the crowds and negotiating all of that. So please be, don't let that ruin, you getting back together with your family and your friends, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you apply it 10 times a day, and it doesn't matter if you're lathering the kids with it as they're squirming around on the plane seat or the car. It's safe and it's so effective. You really, you need to take this with you. Now, if you are going far away, jet lag, it can be an issue. And again, we go back to our peppermint. So this peppermint is probably the biggest multitasker of all the oils that I'm going to talk about tonight. But the peppermint, very, very uplifting. It's lovely. Instead of that 3 p.m. coffee, when you think you're going to crash and you're just like, oh, how do we get through, for another couple of hours? Some peppermint, I would do a couple of big inhales. And again, I would definitely be having that around my pulse points and around my temples, just so it was close to my brain and waking my brain back up. But the other thing just that you would want to note for peppermint is it's incredible for fevers and for headaches. Again, nothing worse than you're away on holidays in the middle of the night, your child wakes up with a fever. And it's like, oh my goodness, and where are we? Is there a chemist nearby? Do I need to get Panadol? What is it going to do? Again, we can tell you 1,000 stories about how peppermint will just bring a fever down. And using it on the bottoms of feet, again, under the big toe, around on temples, just incredible. It's a very, very cooling oil. Just be careful not to get it too close to your eyes, because it is a strong oil. So the fumes are a little bit strong on your eyes if you get it too close, but it's just think cooling for peppermint. So that leads me then into, what if you had a headache? A headache is, inflammation and, and hot in the head. So again, you would reach for your peppermint for a headache. You might want to grab the lavender as well, because the lavender, as the peppermint cools it, the lavender is soothing it. So we're already multitasking. We've already multitasked peppermint across about 5 different things now. Now we're multitasking the lavender into stress, into sleep, into headaches. Okay, so there's no right or wrong way to do these. The only thing I would say is don't put peppermint on if you want to go to sleep. That's the only rule. Otherwise, there's no other rules. So you've got the oils there if you've got a headache, because again, there's nothing worse if you've got a big day and you've got a tour or something, or you've got to sit through a big family event that you haven't had a big family event for a while either. They could be causing a headache. So you want to go for your peppermint and your lavender. By the way, I should go back to the digest sen on the tummy troubles. And again, especially as people are going to be traveling over Christmas, a little bit of any overindulgence in Christmas cheer as well. Good old digest sen will help you out with your hangover the next morning. Very, very good. Now, one of the things that we often do on holidays, which we don't do at home, is we just suddenly become more adventurous. Like we suddenly go, oh, we're going to bike ride, or we're going to, do this, 10-kilometer hike, and we haven't even, walked for 3 minutes out of our home in the last couple of months. So we can be really prone to aches and pains. And so that's when we bring in the ice blue. Now, the ice blue is our soothing blend. And when you open it, you'll smell it. It smells a little bit like the Denka rub or the deep heat. It's got that real, it's like a boys' locker room. Some people like to describe it as. So that's our aches and pain blend. All right. So that is, waking up with a crick in your neck because the pillow at the hotel was too high, or Auntie Mary didn't have a pillow, and or the bed, you ended up sleeping on the floor, and you've got a sore back. You might have done your knee because you went hiking and all the rest of it. So that is our aches and pains blend. Also fantastic for headaches. So again, we can multitask that back with the peppermint. So we can be looking at the ice blue or the peppermint. Period pain as well with peppermint. Perfect. I didn't think about that. Yes, because you want to be managing that. Yeah. And snoring. Yes, nothing. And ice blue. Yeah. Perfect. See how we've already multitasking those. Ice blue is called a soothing blend, and I believe it was originally developed as physically soothing, but we also have many anecdotal reports of it being very, very soothing to the mind. So we've got some ladies who use it for sleep. So again, you can think soothing if, you know, if the old lavender wasn't doing it for sleep, and there might be a little bit more going on, then you might want to add in some ice blue to that. As Jackie just said, the snoring, headache. The other thing that it's really good for is coughs. And again, I wouldn't usually have used it for coughs. And I remember years and years ago, I was in a conference and there was a lady there who couldn't stop coughing. And I was wishing I'd had a specific blend with me. And all I had with me that I thought would help was the ice blue. She put ice blue on her chest. She stopped coughing. So when you smell it, you'll understand it, you know, even though it's not designed as we do have another blend, which is the respiratory blend, but it's opening up and it's calming down and soothing. And again, that cough is always an irritation. So just think of ice blue in terms of soothing. And as Jackie said, like the, you know, period pain, that's something that needs to be soothed. Headache needs to be soothed. And then your general aches and pains. So that one, you know, and you definitely want that if you've, you know, been sleeping on planes or even, you know, just locked up for a cooped up for a whole lot of time in the car, because your back's going to get sore doing that as well. Now, this little thing, this little tube, that's why I say we're going to solve the world's problems with 6 bottles and a tube. And this is the tube. This is called Correct-X. And if you've never heard of it in doTERRA, put one in your next order. I think I just ordered 4 in this order. I keep giving them away because we're away with people and something happens. I'm like, hey, put Correct-X on it. We were just away a couple of weeks ago and someone burnt themselves and he had a blister, and I said, here, have Correct-X. And he got up the next morning and said, oh my gosh, but, you know, I was like, just keep it. And then I got home and I was like, oh, I've got none left because I just give it away. This is your do everything first aid ointment. Cuts, scrapes, bruises, stings, pimples, any sort of rash or whatever. It's just, it's incredible. There's some really, really strong oils in there. You only need a little tiny bit, but this little beauty for any, you know, blisters from too much walking, or, you know, any, as I said, any accidents or a sting or a bite from an insect. You could also grab the lavender if you had an insect bite or a sting, or, you know, mozzie bite or something, that's going to calm it as well. You can multitask those two. But this is your little first aid for all your, for your skin, someone falls over and grazes their knee, or any of that sort of stuff as well. So that's your Correct-X. And then I've just knocked every single oil over. I think I probably kept the best to last, and that is the On Guard. And there's just so much to say about On Guard, and all I will say is you just have to use it every day, all day, every day, for the whole family, especially while you're away. I'm probably speaking a little bit uncompliantly, but you can find research on, if you want to find research on the internet which names this oil and a certain virus that we're all living with, you can look up that research. We know this oil, it has antibacterial and antiviral properties. Again, I'm probably speaking uncompliantly, but you can find the research that it can kill 99% of bacteria and germs. And in fact, we have a whole range of On Guard. And, you know, if you're already using doTERRA, you'll know that we have On Guard soap and hand sanitizer and all the rest of it. For the sake, again, of everything being simple and smart, this little bottle will do it all. When you get on the plane, even though you're probably going to have a mask on, you're still going to have people hacking and sniffing and doing all sorts of disgusting things. So you can cover your chest in On Guard, and you probably, I would probably even be putting a little bit on my mask. I did have a great story a couple of years ago of a lady telling me that they were coming back from somewhere in Europe back to Australia, and the person next to them vomited about 10 minutes into the flight. And they couldn't get rid of the stench no matter what. She had a scarf with her, and she had On Guard. She just put On Guard all through the scarf and wrapped it around. And she went, at least I sat there the whole way home then, just knowing I was okay and I wasn't getting all those germs, and that I didn't smell, and, you know, it was all good. If you need some hand sanitizer, just roll it on. Just roll on the roll-on And then, you've got the hand sanitizer. So you don't need to also carry, look, I would probably be also carrying the hand sanitizing mist, but in terms of the basics that are going to do it for you, this one will do it for you. This would be going on the kids' feet before we stepped foot out, of the wherever we were, up and down the backs. Again, as I said, around the chest. If you're ever feeling like you're getting a tickly throat or a sore throat, rolling it around on the throat area. I mean, you just should not even contemplate traveling without this. When I said there was two that I won't even go up the road without, that was my On Guard and my Digest-N, because even with those two, we know we are covered. But it's just so important, like I said, because travel's never going to be the same. It's not the same anymore, because we have this great big threat looming over us, and the stress of doing anything in this world right now, as stress actually lowers your immunity. And this is the time when we need to have our immunity at its absolute best, when we're about to leave our bubbles and go out into the big wide world where it's, all bets are off. You want to know that you're okay. And I mean, how many people do you know that even in the good old days, people would get off a long flight and like, oh, I got sick on the plane on the way home. I got sick on the plane on the way home. I mean, my husband and I are both platinum frequent flyers. He spends half his life on a plane. He has On Guard. He doesn't even get a sniffle. You go, yeah, that person sitting there might be coughing and sniffing and doing all the rest, but I'm okay because I've put On Guard on. I'm in my own little bubble. I'm completely protected. And I just can't really emphasize enough how important this is to travel with. It was always important to travel with, but now it's even more important than ever, I think. And you will, you just, in terms of peace of mind, and just know, anyone who's used On Guard knows how bloody brilliant it is, and how it really does work, and it really is completely protective, called our protective blend. So that's why I left it till last, because I knew I wasn't going to speak properly about it, because I get excited about it. So I didn't want to take up any more time on that. I wanted to show you how the oils are going to fit into something this big. You're going to be able to multitask them all. Like I said, you don't need to remember them. We can give you reference cards, or if you're new to doTERRA, you reach out to whoever invited you here tonight and they will help you with it. You watch the replay and take notes about them. But I just wanted to show you how amazing these little bottles are and how they're going to multitask. And again, very, very important to make sure they're multitasking emotionally as well as physically. It's fine to travel with Panadol and a Band-Aid, but in terms of managing our stress right now, it's very, very important that we've got tools on hand to do that as well. So, Jackie, that is such a good question, because Jackie's just asked, where do people get that case? And I found two. We just moved house not long ago, and I found two in my cupboard, and I thought, because I wanted to order 50 of them, because I want anyone who, wants to get like a travel kit, I want to do it in this. It's like, do you think I can find them? They'll be on eBay somewhere. So I will find them and get them. But look, from memory, they were about $5, and they hold 10 rollers. Look, obviously in a perfect world, of course, I'll be throwing in frankincense and copaiba in there, but and then that's something we could talk about down the track, about adding and enhancing your travel kit. But I just wanted to show you how simple it was with these base oils, how it was to get going and to multitask. So I will hunt down that case, and I'm sure maybe it was Aroma Tools or something way back in a convention, I'm not sure. But I definitely want to get a whole lot more of them as well. So I'm going to unmute Jackie. And for those of you who don't know Jackie, sometimes called my partner in crime, and we've been doing this gig for a few years, haven't we? So Jackie's a fellow health coach. She's a nurse. She's Nurse Jackie, known around the health retreat industry as Nurse Jackie. She's a hormone coach. And she's very, very scientific brain, which we work very well together because she does a lot of the research. I just love that the oils work, and she likes to know why they work. And so I'll let Jackie speak to you quickly about doTERRA and the Olympic team, and then we'll just come back and wrap it up for you.
Hey everyone, thanks Chris. This has been fantastic. So simple. It's got to be simple, and that's where the rollers come in and multitask. Oh my goodness. So we were really lucky, and you would have seen across the socials during the Tokyo Olympics our partnership with Surf Australia and the Surfing Olympic team. What we didn't advertise, because it was last minute and we were so privileged to get access to our world elite swimmers, so the dolphins, and we sent some personally curated teams. And I want to give Pam Goldsborough a shout out because it was her connection. She is a partner in crime of Chris's, in the sense that a travel expert, travel agent and expert in travel for many years. And so she put together this incredible little kit from her experience in the travel industry and as an elite swimmer herself, what these kids needed. So we sent some boxes across, and we still have athletes today leaning in every day in their normal post-Olympic life using their oils and literally becoming doTERRists like us. So we actually sent Ice Blue. Okay, so Chris has talked about Ice Blue. We sent Peppermint, On Guard, and Easy Air, all in rollers, as well as 15 ml bottles of the Easy Air and the On Guard. We also sent the On Guard hand sanitizing mist and the little Pilot diffuser. So the Pilot diffuser is a USB powered diffuser, so you can just charge it wherever you are, and it just runs on battery, and you can have that diffusing in small spaces, hotel rooms, with ease. So it was really important for these athletes to feel safe and protected from the get-go. So they got their kits when they were in Cairns in training camp. So they started using the oils then, they started diffusing in the room, and then they walked onto the plane they had their Easy Air, their Peppermint and or On Guard on their face masks for a long haul flight. They had their On Guard hand sanitizing mist that they sprayed down all the tables, the back of the seats, everything that they needed to keep things clean. And then when they hit Tokyo, they diffused constantly. Again, use those oils on their masks, and then they started using the oils topically whenever they felt any kind of seasonal threat. And at this time, when the Olympics was on, you know the numbers. Tokyo was, it was touch and go whether the Olympics were going to go because of the incredible daily rates of COVID and the transmission there. So at every point in time, our beautiful Olympic swimmers were protected. We got text messages constantly. Thank you very much. My workload leading into the Olympics and then trials, then getting my charges across, and then safe and ready and comfortable and in the pool, charged, ready to go, meant that I never slept. So our Easy Air was helping. Easy Air and On Guard at night were helping some of our coaches, our elite coaches, sleep at night and decrease immunity so they could get up and be at their best. These oils were being used in Epsom salts baths to relax athletes down, and it just gave them a sense of bulletproof resilience. Now, the most beautiful thing is, because swimming is so high profile, these kids, more so than the surfers, we had a lot of hoops to jump through to get this beautiful kit opened and being used by the athletes, because these kids are tested a couple of times a day, 24/7 cycle, like whenever. So we needed to know that absolutely everything was pure for our athletes. And because we are so pure and so potent, and it's 100% clean oils, it was absolute no-brainer to be able to get a letter of purity. So I have letters of purity around all of these oils that was sent in these kits for our athletes and their coaches and the admin of Swim Australia, for them to feel comfortable at all times, knowing doTERRA is supporting their athletes, body, mind, and spirit. So we have a lot of athletes now using lemon, extended out to lemon, to rosemary, to motivate for their university studies, because you can imagine leading on into the Olympics, everything stops. It's all about swimming. So now that they're getting back into their everyday life, more oils have been added in. Anxiety, fitting back in, lavender is starring. They're loving the balance on the soles of their feet. These athletes have their doTERRA daily protocols. So that is a testament to the power and the process of these oils and the absolute purity. And these athletes, and I won't name them, but I tell you what, doTERRA rocked the podium well and truly in Tokyo. Thanks, Chris, for letting me share.
That is so cool. Thank you. No, that's just awesome. So if anyone needs to be kept well and unstressed, it's our Olympians. So it's yeah, as you said, just such a great testament. So cool. Is there any questions from anybody, Jackie, on the Facebook group?
Nothing at the moment, but kids, if you've got any questions, please type away. I'm manning Facebook for Chris, and there's nothing in the chat here. Leonie, Katie, do you have any questions? Couldn't get that word out.
So if you're already using oils and in doTERRA, get yourself a little kit together like this. Again, yeah, definitely I would, be adding in some easy air and probably the mist and everything if you're going to be adding to it over time. If you're new to doTERRA, you don't have any oils, we can do these oils anywhere in the world. So wherever you are in the world, it doesn't matter. Just reach out to the person who invited you here tonight. It may not have been me, it might have been through our group. And so whoever invited you or shared this replay with you, just contact them and they can organize the oils for you, as I said, anywhere in the world. And then we'll follow up with all the usage instructions. And let's just hope that this is just, good old travel, just the start of something beautiful and it becomes normal again. So make sure you keep yourselves well and healthy and stressed so you can enjoy it. Like I said, we've waited a long time. We want to make sure we enjoy all those reunions and relaxation holidays and all the rest. So
okay, I've got a question here from Kirsten. Hi, if I don't have a roller made, how many drops can I put in to make my own? I'm traveling soon.
If you're traveling with kids, would depend if you're traveling with kids or just traveling yourself. I don't know, it's like 20 drops. Jackie, would you say?
10, I'd go probably less is more. These oils are so powerful. So I'd probably go 10, 15. And we can jump into the Facebook. That was a question on Facebook in Living Well.
Okay,
so
cool.
We can jump in there and answer the questions as well.
Yeah, definitely go less if you're going to be using them on littler kids. Yeah. For sure. So absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. Well, been a little bit over 30 minutes. I was trying to keep it nice and short, but I just get so excited because it's just so easy. And like I said, I just love the simple multitasking, powerful solution. So enjoy all your travels, wherever your first trip is going to be, or whoever it's going to be with. And you know that we're always here to support you over in the group in Living Well, and we've got a lot of resources over there. So we're always happy to help you. So have an awesome night, and we'll speak to everyone soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.